Back again for the Renegade Master, as Natster would say. It's 1:30, and I'm back again. Yes, the eyes are still a little bit glazed. No, I haven't been doing that. I do not smoky. I'm a little bit tired as all. But you know what? I have got him with me. Fresh off the back of his fantastic shows at 10:30 a.m.s. My full Irish brother Shane is in the building with me. What we saying, man? How you doing, brother?
Oh,
Before I get you in there, go on. Before I get you in there, I've got to say. My brother to the right, my fellow Irish brother, he has surpassed the 500 mark in record time, may I just add, everyone. In record time. The geezer ain't going like fucking Odegaard. The geezer's flying through the traps. He's fucking flying. He's fucking flying. Like a Harris. Comes straight out of the traps. He's smashing it. Shane, man. Congratulations to you. They're 500. The people are liking what you're saying. I like what you're fucking saying. Big up to you, my brother, man.
No, listen, yeah, thanks for that, man. And congrats to you. You went over the 1K, bro. You know what I mean? You put in the work and it pays off. That's it. People seem to be digging what I'm saying. Of course, when you're yourself, I always sort of give it when I'm doing the full Irish. I always give a sort of a disclaimer that I'm just going to be myself. So sometimes so-called bad language will come out, and I do put it at over 18 seconds if there's people watching. That's the way it is, because I did sort of have the idea when I did this. Same in life. You only can be yourself, man. And if you're yourself, people like it. They do, and I know through the past that some people like me, some people don't, and that's the way it is. But the people seem to be liking me. The chat is always lit. I mean, we have this community here that support everyone, and you have all the AFC always, and the vigilantes, and the statics, and all the, I'm forgetting names here, but the Suge and all these people, man, they all support us all, and without them, there's no point. You know what I mean? But listen, we're just here to speak the truth and try, and we just want what's best for our club, man. You know what I mean? And that's why we do it. That's and if we stick to that and don't sort of sell out, then What more can you ask for? You know what I mean? I was only saying to you this morning that, like, you were on early, and then I was on, and then Views was on, and like a few months ago, I would have loved that as an Arsenal fan, a real Arsenal fan, to have three people speaking the truth all the way through the morning, flying the flag for the real Arsenal fans, and that's what we're here for. But listen, we're here to talk about the upcoming game that probably none of us are really looking forward to, but it has to be done. But not this chat. I mean, the game itself, we're not looking forward to. But yeah, man, big up to everybody in the chat, and thanks for getting me past 500 people. The road to 1,000 is on, and I'll keep pumping out the content if you keep pumping in the subs and the likes and the chat and all that stuff.
Yeah. Now, big up, man. And like I said, I'm buzzing. It's always good as well to see people like you, obviously like me, like all the other people that are coming out the woodwork, starting up channels, and they're getting to them next levels. They're going that way. But most importantly, even regardless of how well or whatever the channel's doing, most important thing for me is the opinions getting out there. That's the context of the channel. What's been said, context. What's being said is the most important thing, and whether how little or large your channel is, as long as you're saying the right things, that's all I want to listen to, man. Because let's get it right, everyone, and we will come into the Liverpool thing because it is a Liverpool thing. But we're going to start off light-hearted. You've got 2 fridge freezers in the building here. We're going to start off light-hearted, and then we'll get into the depressing Liverpool game. But don't worry, I'll tell you what, one thing you won't see here. You won't see any of this here. We're not going to be singing anytime soon. We're not like TikTokers, Kenny. We're not like TikTokers, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? You got your full roasting yesterday, didn't you, bro?
Oh, man.
We don't sing into fucking mics over here unless we're going to retaliate to a video. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's when we start singing to the mics. But guess what? We're going to talk facts. We're not going to start singing into razor blades. Do you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So we'll put that over there. We don't do that on this channel. What I did want to start off with, though, ladies and gentlemen, I want to quickly run through by the people that have come in, said hello. Gavin in the building, big up to you, brother. Yanis, big up, brother. Paul Walker, he's started to come in all the buildings all often, mate. Big up. How you doing? Everywhere, man. Was lifting up that Prem trophy against Arsenal. Yeah, just to see the look on the top goodness face. Absolutely hilarious. AK is in the building. Sav, he's always here, man. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And the geezer is right. Geezer, big up Shane, big up Gavin. And then, yeah, we got Sav, road to 1K. That's what we're saying. We're going to get him there. We will all get him there. Nathan, big up to you, brother. Hope you are well, my friend. Hendo. Hendo's in the building. Big up, brother. And he's saying, Aaron, and all in the chat and watching. Great full Irish. show this. Twas. I was listening. A great show, Aaron and Lee Gunner last night. Yeah, big up, man. And Dad's in the building. Here he is. Dad, what you saying? Because usually you're on piss take settings. What you saying? What you saying, Father? Genuinely my dad as well. For people who ain't in the building. What you saying? Tell. We've well done, son. 1,000. Remember, you started with half a dozen. Well, technically, I started with 0, but I know what you're saying. Arsenal given a guard of honour. Yeah, not great. The first time all season you've had a lineup that knows what it's doing. Laugh out loud. Love you, son. Dad, love you to bits, man. You know that. And I'll catch you up very soon. Zia Talks. How you doing, brother? Big up, Aaron. Big up to you. Josh, you're in the building, man. Big up to you, my absolute fridge de la freezer. Aaron with the hair clippers. Bruv, come on, man. You know it. Yeah, we've got to be done, man. That's the props now. You know what I'm saying? We've got props. Yeah, listen, bruv. Trust me. We hold the standards here. This is just, that's how we do. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And congratulations to Shane as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you very much, brother. And just quickly before we move on, last comment from Hendo. Aaron, remember to send me... I totally fucking forgot, mate. I've just been so busy. Sorry about that. They are hilarious. I will switch back on eventually. I've just been... Yeah, I didn't finish streaming till about 2:30 last night on my call-in. I didn't go to bed till about 3:30, and then I woke up this morning. I set my alarm for 7:15, and for some reason, no word of a lie, it went off at 6:15. I've never seen that before. iPhone, it went off at 6:15. So I've been up literally. I've only had about 3 hours sleep to do a little 7:45 a.m. show. But so we'll get into the Liverpool thing in a second. But do you know what? There's one thing I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why that'll always be hung up there. Yeah, Dennis Bergkamp. There is a reason why I've also put Dennis Bergkamp there and Dennis Bergkamp there. And do you know why that is? It's because it's the great man's birthday today. So I felt like I had to start off something with a bit of a Dennis Bergkamp appreciation thing. Dennis Bergkamp is everything that Arsenal are not at the minute. Hard-working, elegant, world-class, generational, professional. He just oozes excellence, class. I've never, ever, ever seen a man replicate some of the goals that he scored. Absolutely unbelievable. So let's just pick up with some of Dennis Bergkamp's stuff here right now, man. Let's have a little look at his career. Before we go into the Arsenal-Liverpool stuff, I'm an Arsenal fan first. Let's just celebrate what an absolute man on his birthday, man. He's got a Premier League record. 315 games, 87 goals. Probably 80 of which were absolutely world class. 96, most likely 90 of which were probably world class. I'd love to show some clips on here, but we can't do it. That's a very frustrating thing. And I mean, you look at when he was at Eredivisie with Ajax. Look at these numbers that he's pulling up: 185, 103 goals, 19 assists. Serie A, of course, when he was with Inter. You know, he'll openly admit it, because while I have read his autobiography, albeit 10, 12 years ago, you know, and he's saying he didn't really enjoy his spell there. But, you know, considering it didn't really go for him, it's modest. Plus the players in that Milan team at the time.
They played him as a target man as well.
Yeah,
they played him as a target man, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when we're looking at the Arsenal stats, he essentially played where Odegaard's playing. He was number 10. Let's not have it right. When they say 4-4-2, that Arsenal team was essentially the same sort of 4-2-3-1, because Bergkamp was spent more time on the halfway line, treading balls through. It was greatest signing we've ever made in the history of the club, man, without a shadow of a doubt.
And it was bloody old Brucey boy. You know what I mean?
David Dean, really. It was David Dean made that signing.
Yeah.
I don't really knew anything about it.
You're right. You don't want to give him the credit.
Can't give it to him.
I'm not going to argue with you. You got the UEFA Cup as well. Look, 42 games, 22 goals, 7 assists. I mean, he's fantastic. Champions League, you know, you'd probably expect it to be a little bit higher, but it's still the elite level competition.
You sure he didn't fly? He didn't fly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a great point. You know what I mean? FA Cup. A lot of them would have contributed to us winning that in 98.
What's the FA Cup?
2004. Well, yeah. What is the FA Cup?
What is the FA Cup?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, is that the thing where we wear white kits and go out all the time?
Yeah. Oh, you mean the competition where we can only get through when we play Oxford?
Yeah. The cup that means nothing, but yet the Top Gooners use it to defend their manager. It's apparently it meant something it meant something up until we stopped trying it. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah, do you know
Still trying
what?
to figure it out.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, because when I went down there, I was like, the FAR Cup. What's that? Oh no, that's Mikel Arteta. Fuck up. Oh yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. The
I got
fuck up.
confused. I didn't know.
He's a fuck
didn't
up.
know what. Yeah. But thankfully, and all jokes aside, me and Shane do rate this FA Cup. Why? Because it's the oldest cup competition in history. It's massive. It always will be massive. Always will be massive. And Dennis Bergkamp's stats there, to be fair, I mean, they're not half bad. Do you know what I mean? 14 goals in 38 games with 7 assists. Sorry, mate. I've scrolled up there. That's not that bad, is it? I mean, let's face it. His stats even in the EFL Cup, considering he never won it while he was at the club. I mean, that's not even that bad. And considering as well, Shane, we played the kids.
Yeah, but the thing is, Aaron, with these stats and stuff like that, like we watch football, right? We don't just these stats. They never used to really be used. And from where he played, his stats are through the roof if you want to go stats wise. But Dennis Bergkamp was so much more than that. Dennis Bergkamp, like you said, it was a brilliant way to open it. He represented everything that this club isn't now. You know, elegance. He was a hard worker. He had a dirty side as well, man. Neil Ruddock said he's one of the dirtiest players he came up against, but he was clever with it. You know what I mean? He was everything that this club isn't anymore. Dennis Bergkamp changed the whole face of Arsenal. He took it from boring Arsenal. His work rate, all the other players upped their game when he came in. Ian Wright used to say he'd come into training and Dennis Bergkamp's already in training, and he'd go, he's the best player I've ever played, but why is he in early? And then he'd go, okay, because he just wants to keep getting better and better and better. He carried the club. And what really, like, I read his autobiography as well, and my favourite, possibly my favourite Arsenal game ever was the 5-3 against Middlesbrough when they went 3-1 up and we just absolutely steamrolled.
Was it Nigel Quashie or whatever his name is? Scored that goal and got Lehman.
No, that was their left back. His name will come to me.
Or something like that. It's Q, isn't it?
No, it was their left back.
It catches Lehman offside, isn't it?
No, it did start with that. Will come to me. But yeah, but Bergkamp captained the team that day, and he said that was his favorite. When I read the autobiography, he said that was my favorite ever game. I went, no way, the Iceman's favorite game was my favorite game. But he was everything, man. He was one of those players that fans of other teams said, I love watching Bergkamp play. He was everything. And just his timing, and again, what personified him was the last game of the unbeaten season. It's one of my favorite ever clips when he has the ball about 10 yards outside the box and he slows it down, and Vieira's behind him. And next minute, Vieira takes off, and he waits, and then just slots it through absolutely perfectly. Vieira rounds the keeper, hits it in, unbeaten season. But that personifies Bergkamp, that patience to wait, and then. Or the little double turn when he flicked it through for Ljungberg in Europe as well, man. Like, just an absolute genius and a joy to watch. And someone put in the chat there that, you know, he was given freedom to play. That's the big difference. He was given freedom to do what he what he could do on the pitch. And if Arteta had him, he wouldn't get that freedom. He managed to nullify him. And that's the trouble that we're in at the moment.
Facts. Do you know what I'm going to do at the... I will do it now just for the chat, because this is one of my favorite Dennis Bergkamp goals, and because I will get done for copyright probably with it, but I'll remove it straight off. I actually have to. I'll come back to these stats just very in a minute, because for me, and I'm going to do this regularly when I see an Arsenal legend, it's their birthday, we need to appreciate them, because let's not forget that these are the reason why we all support Arsenal, man. These are the reasons why we support Arsenal. Let me take this down a minute, and then I'm going to come and get this on, because my actual favourite Dennis Bergkamp moment, or at least top 3, maybe I shouldn't say favourite. But in my top 3 Dennis Bergkamp moments actually isn't a goal. And Shane, Shane, you'll know. But yeah, chat. So bear with us, yeah. I want to get this up, and I'm going to get it up on YouTube. And hopefully I don't get done for copyright for it. But I want to share with you, all of you, and Shane, of course, my favourite Dennis Bergkamp moment, man. Right. You just bear with us for 1 second. All right. Now we've got that back. Right. Now I'll share the screen, ladies and gentlemen, girls and geezers. Right. Bear with us. Let's get it up. Add to stage. Yeah. You probably got it already. Back to Davids. Look at this.
This is the double turn.
Watch what he does. Watch what he does to Juventus's backline.
Waits for the run.
Fuck off.
Unbelievable. That's the one I said. Yeah, the double turn. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Go away. Honestly, come on.
Wait. Ping. Yeah.
Really?
Genius.
Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing?
I was watching that in a pub in Bray, man, and I lost the plot.
Bye. See you.
Look outside the boot bank. Yeah, unbelievable.
Come on.
Can you see Odegaard? Odegaard tries that little scoop all the time, but he doesn't time it. And he waits till the box is crowded. Unbelievable. What a genius.
People, come off of it, man. Really? Is that what we're doing here? Anthony, big up, brother. I did catch you. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Did you just see a bit of Bergkamp there? Did you man? Oh, whoop, let's zoom back out. Did you see what I had up there on the screen? The Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh, quality. Do you know what? Anyway, I just want to say big up, lads. By the way, thanks for letting me on the show today, Aaron. It's about fucking time. The ideals I given you was unbelievable for your fucking shoes. I'm going to say that.
A couple of times,
I'm joking. I'm winding you up. There you go.
You've ignored me, you sod. And yes, still up there.
The paint. You got to get that paint sorted.
Hawkeye, honestly. Shane, can you see that there's a light grey fucking smudge up in that corner? You can't, can you? Do you know what? He can. And this room ain't even well lit. This geezer's fucking 2020, mate. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And your shelves, well, not your unit, it needs leveling out. Definitely needs leveling out. But Aaron, I know you'll get into it and do it. Trust the process.
And blame Terence Knowles, who's in the chat, my dad. Blame him. He's the one that needs to come around and give me a hand for it because it needs lifting up, propping, leaning over and screwing. So blame Terence Knowles.
Well, invite him round, right? Invite him round. He could give you a hand and you could pay him back in something like a pack of beers or something like that.
Yeah. That's it.
That's fair. That's fair enough. But yeah, you're going back to your Bergkamp thing. Seriously, it's quality. Do you know what? That's one of my best players that has ever played for this club, ever. If Thierry Henry's king, which he is, Bergkamp's got to be a god. So you know that's
most important signing, most important player I think ever in the club.
Yeah, definitely.
What changed and everything. Yeah,
he was magic.
Yeah, he was magic.
Absolutely magic, man.
I remember when we first signed him. When we first signed him under Bruce Rioch, and funny enough, his first goal come in the 7th game of the season against Southampton. We won 4-2.
What a goal!
The second goal was yeah.
Yeah, mate, it's quality, man. Like, look at what we had. We obviously it's a Liverpool preview, but like I couldn't help myself when I noticed, and I will do this from now on. It's going to be a thing when you've got the legends' birthdays in the building. We are going to appreciate them, and boy, should we deserve to, mate. 100%. Look at this. I know the image ain't fantastic, but look at this, man. The last time we won the Premier League, look at what we had. This now is replaced with Mikel Merino and Martin Odegaard.
That's it. But that is exactly what it is. And even if it is Havertz or even if it is Jesus, you know what I mean? Come on, man. I mean,
it's madness.
And we had Will Tord and Reyes and stuff on the bench as well. You know what I mean?
Kanu.
No, I think he was there for the Invincibles, was he?
I'm sure he might have been still.
Oh, he might have played a couple of games. I think he might have played. I could be wrong, but he might have played. And it was Quadru was the guy that scored that speed.
I knew it was a Q. Yeah, Frank Quadru, isn't it? Yeah. I knew it was a Q. Yeah. But listen, man, this is sort of goes to show, and it's quite depressing sort of when you bring it up. I didn't want to sort of you know what I mean, bring him up and celebrate it, and you look back and you just think, oh man, look at what we had. That's why we got the Bergkamps all the way here, and we'll always have the Bergkamp there. It's for appreciation of what was an absolutely fantastic human being in every aspect. There was something that you said as well, Shane. When he went to Arsenal, Ian Wright said, the levels went up. Dennis Bergkamp was arriving early for training and staying late for training. He was eating properly. He weren't going out and pissing around. This geezer he set the standards in that team, which obviously had the Tuesday club, etc. He rolls in. Wow, Dennis Bergkamp. Ian Wright tells the story at the petrol station, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When he got the petrol station and he sees him there. Wow, you're signing for Arsenal, Dennis. You know, he's like an excitable little kid, isn't he? Ian Wright with things like that. He set the standards at the club, along with Arsene Wenger, who obviously had the same mindset, changing diets, etc. It couldn't have been a better signing for Arsenal Football Club.
But that's the thing, though, Aaron. You see, like you said, with the Wenger thing, everybody says, "Oh, Wenger walked into the defence and he had the defence there." But walking in, I think it was more important that Bergkamp was there. That when Wenger came in with these, like you said, the idea of diet and the training, that they were already looking at him, going, "Yeah, okay, You know, Ian Wright tells the story as well that he shared a room with him when they're in a hotel, and at sort of 9:30, Bergkamp was coming out in his pajamas, all buttoned up, and Wright's like, "Mom, I'm watching telly." He's like, "No, I need to be fresh tomorrow." You know what I mean? And it is that thing. Like Henri said it as well about Bergkamp. He said the same thing as Ian Wright when he saw Bergkamp train, and he was like, "But he's so good. Why is he training so hard? He's already got it." And it brings up the levels. And Wenger was able to come in and say, "Look, you want to be like him? This is what you do." Then the French lads came in, and then I think it was Tony Adams said that they were eating, like they were carb loading before games and things like that. And they'd look at them with 80 minutes gone, and Adams and Keown and all be puffing hard, and they'd look at these lads not a bother, and they go, "Well, they're doing something right." You know what I mean? The evidence is there that what they're doing is right. You know, and of course they joked about it, like Ian Wright used to saying, like, "Give us back our ketchup" and stuff like that, because Wenger got rid of the ketchup out of it. But like, if you have a role model like Bergkamp to base it around, and Wenger can come in and go, "Listen, have a look at him. This is what we're all going to do." And to me, yes, walking into the back four, back five was a dream, but having Bergkamp as well on the other side of it, it was just the perfect marriage. Like Tony Adams says, when the student's ready, the teacher will arrive, and that's exactly what happened. It was all time.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic way to honor a great man. And before we move on, I'll ask Ant, then I'll come around to you, then I'll come around to me. And best Bergkamp moment? What's your favourite one? And then we'll move on after we've all done one.
Oh God, do you know what? Everybody tells me this, and I've got two. One of them,
both of them. Be greedy, you fucker.
I'll be greedy because I'll be greedy because I love Bergkamp. So the first one is the one you see it even on when Jez goes live, Jez Collins, that goal against Newcastle. You know, that fact that the thing and he hits in the bottom corner, which was a fantastic goal, and also his last goal. Do you remember when we drew 3-3 with Leicester? And he was doing the kick ups as he turned round. He literally bent the ball round in, like, you know, just underneath the crossbar, and that was a 3-3 game. Those are my two best Bergkamp goals of all time for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to put that up there. You've got to.
I don't know if I'm going to get completely done by the copyright for the time of it. I don't know. I'll have a little think. Shane, what's yours? I'll have a little think.
Yeah, because there's so many, and the two that were mentioned there could easily be my top two. You know, they could easily be. I'll just go with two others then, just so we can spread it out. There's the Newcastle one and the Leicester one, of course, are unbelievable, and what you showed with the turn through ball. But for me, like I said, it's that goal against Leicester on the last day of the unbeaten season when he waited for Vieira, and Vieira came up behind him, made a run through, and he played it through to him. It just explained everything about Bergkamp: patience, class. You know what I mean? Under pressure. And then one is just a moment, which it wasn't a game. It was when he won first, second, and third in goal of the month on Match of the Day, and he was first, second, third in it. I think it was the '98 season. He got first, second, and third place in goal of the month, and that was when, because it's you always refer to it, Aaron, being able to walk into school or walk into work with your chest puffed out when your team's winning. It's the best feeling in the world. And I was just finishing school, and 2 years before we had been boring Arsenal, we'd been this and that, and suddenly we're the best team in the country. And I was able to go in and say, "Oh, look, my star player got goal of the month, first, second, and third." So I could be here all day going on about Bergkamp moments. There's so many, but I said just because there's so many, I'll do two different ones. But they'd be two that would be ranked very, very high up there for me. Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic moments, man. Do you know what as well? Do you know what I will say as well? One of the best ones that I've seen ain't even in an Arsenal shirt, man.
Haaland,
yeah. I'm gonna get that. Then I'll get what moment was it, Ant, that you wanted me to get up, and I'll quickly play it because I'll turn it once I was getting on.
It was a goal against Leicester. I think it was the third one. Do you know, obviously, when he was sort of like on the corner,
he played it over the top. David Platt played it over,
and the goalkeeper.
And he did it against Tottenham as well. He did it against the same sort of thing against Tottenham from Wright's cross in the injury time. But that goal against, it was so sad that they went up and made it 3-3, but. Yeah, that was his hat-trick goal as well. He got a hat-trick that game.
That was hat-trick, That was quality.
Yeah, bent the top corner. The second one was unbelievable as well when he bent the top corner from the corner.
Yeah.
He laid it off on the edge of the box and he ping.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think with that one, the one where he sort of started doing these kick-ups and then he placed the ball up round. That to me,
is that Matt Elliott, that goal where he twisted? Is it Matt Elliott? That one.
It was played over the top by Wright and he took it down and then he flicked it back over him and he just kept going and then he just calmly just slotted it into the top corner. That just
unbelievable.
Touch, calm, finish, everything. Strength as well.
That's unbelievable. Watch this. What's just a cheeky bit of De Boer on the ball. Have we got it up?
This is
This
unbelievable.
was a
Sometimes I
good
keep forgetting.
goal.
Yeah, right.
Injury
That's-
time as well. Let's get it right. Under pressure, injury time, man.
Double naughty. Later, Ayala. One more time for the seats at the back. Toodaloo. See you.
See, Darren, I always do this on my decades videos, on my World Cup videos, that like the Maradona goal against England and stuff like that. You have to put it into perspective, the sheer pressure as well, to be able to be calm. Like, that's injury time in a World Cup quarter final, to do that against Argentina, to take it down. Like, most people just snatch at it or try and hit it first time, or just boom, take it down, flick, bang. Unbelievable. Ice in his veins, ice running through his veins.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, absolutely unbelievable. And just before I line up, go on, and go. Like, you go,
No,
and
it's
then
just
I'll
like
line
sometimes
up
it's like with these people, like, you know, sometimes they say, oh, look, we're going to sign this player. Oh, apparently he's the new Dennis Bergkamp, this, that. Bullshit. There's only one player that was like Bergkamp, and it was Bergkamp himself. Like Omri and everything like that. You don't class players that's like other players, especially these new ones today. You know, these new players. I got to be honest with you. We look back at that, and it was absolutely brilliant. But the modern game has changed so much. Is unreal, you know. And it's like what I said, you know, with the game against PSG and all that. It was just dire all round, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, it's poor. Yeah, and this is Anthony's best Bergkamp moment.
Oh, that was the one. Yeah.
Look at this. Disgusting.
Eddie tries to grab him. Eddie tries to grab him around the neck. Not a bother.
Yeah.
He just jogs off. He just jogs off, man. Look at that.
Absolute joke.
Yeah. It was the I appreciate the goal, but what you got to appreciate about that goal, is the control of the goal. Unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. And that's what that goal always sticks in my head.
It's amazing.
Because the control.
I remember at the time as well.
Yeah.
I remember that was for me, was when I started going, right, now people cannot deny how good he is. That switched it for me. There was no argument anymore. Like, because I was like 16, 17. So your friends are all like, oh no, you're shit, he's crap, and all that sort of stuff. And then they just had to go, no, yeah, well, you can't say it anymore. Can't say he's bad anymore. He was just class. Like again, injury time again to win a match. Just like, so calm, bang, bang. I mean, you look at Havertz and all slapping and snatching at balls, and Odegaard panicking, he doesn't want the ball, and he's going, right, injury time, give me the ball. Pretty opposite.
Yeah.
Mate,
it's true.
What a play. I mean, come on. To just sort of round that last bit off. Happy birthday, Dennis Bergkamp 10. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Will never be another.
Happy birthday, Dennis
Bergkamp 10.
Absolute God.
That's what I mean. And do you know what as well? We've got a great panel on to appreciate that, because, you know, I was there to see it from the start, and you guys would have seen him before he even came to Arsenal anyway. Which I didn't. I started watching football in '95, so really good time to start watching Dennis Bergkamp. But you lot would have known about him anyway, much longer than I would have.
Fucking hell, you make me feel old. You make me feel old, Aaron. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, I got a bit of stick last night, Aaron. Yeah, I was it this morning. Oh no, it was last night. I had Sujan, I think, and I said hello, Sujan. I was like, oh, some old boy in front of me, because I had a bit of Odegaard. He's like, I was like, oh, he's about 50s, and I meant to say 60s, but 50s come out. He's looking at me. I was like, oh boy, I had about 5 geezers on the panel who was in 50. I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking screwed right up here, and I. But no. All of the panel, you all look fantastic for 50. Can I just add, by the way, absolutely fantastic. But no, big up, man. We are going to move across to Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, because of course we play Liverpool tomorrow, and it's guard of honor again. Ole ole, second time that we've given Liverpool a guard of honor under Mikel Arteta. Two different managers. I mean, I don't know about you boys, but I'm not very, very happy with this stuff. You know, we all knew it was coming anyway, because albeit all the Arsenal fans, they're all like, yeah. You know, we've been in a title race this season, this and all of that. After 5 games, we were 7 points. I think 7 points behind. I've lifted it up on screens already. We're 7 points behind. We've not spent one day in top of the Premier League, but was in a title race. Apparently, it stayed 7 until it went to 15. Nowhere near good enough. I don't really know where we're going with this football team, but all I know is I'm going to watch it out of necessity tomorrow night, but I don't particularly want to. I really don't want to. It's a pointless game. It's going to hurt watching the start of that game, seeing them fellas come out with that guard, clapping the champions. We all say it should be us, Shane, bruv. You know what I'm saying? We're saying it should be us from last season. We said it should be us in end of May, last June. But realistically, having summed up and seen the whole season, it should never have been us, should it, bruv? Nowhere near him. Nowhere near.
No. And you know what? This narcissist has, because he always goes back on himself and he contradicts himself and he makes a fool of us, you know, because we're related to the club and we get, like I said before with the Community Shield thing when he claimed it as a trophy, like I was getting pelters for that, like I said it, but he's after shooting himself in the foot because he's obsessed with this second place, right? So we've been through this, so you can say, oh, I got second place, guys, and I got semis of the Champions League, guys, so it's progress, right? Because it's better than last season, when we all know this season's been a total write-off. But Liverpool probably would have rolled over for us because they would have changed a lot of players like they did against Chelsea. But he's after coming out and saying, you know, essentially we have 2 Premier Leagues because Liverpool won the league on less points than we got last season. But this is before they finished the league, so they can still get more points, right? So he's poked the bear for no other reason than his own narcissism. So if I was Slot, I'd be sitting there going, do you know what? I was thinking of resting Salah and I was thinking of resting, you know, McAllister. I was thinking of resting Allison. And I'd be turning around to the players going, guys, we have to absolutely match this team. You hear what they said about us? You know what I mean? Because Liverpool fans, I would say they're sick and tired of people dismissing this league title like, oh, everybody else was just crap, all that. They did what needed to be done, like champions do, right? And it kills me to say that. You know my stance on Liverpool. It kills me to say that, but they've done what needed to be done. And he has poked the bear for no other reason than so he could lose his precious second place. I've said for time that he will finish third or fourth. You know what I mean? Newcastle are going to win. City will win every game they have left. Newcastle will beat us. The record's there. I mean, we've had about 6 shots against them in the last 5 or 6 games. They're going to beat us. They're going to want to finish as high as possible. Trophy finish high. City could finish second. FA Cup. All these teams that are having a terrible season will end up having a much better season than us. If United or Tottenham win the Europa League, they've had a better season than us, right? So he has poked the bear for no reason. And if I was Slot, I would just put that quote up in the dressing room and say nothing else and say, come on, guys, let's finish with as many points as we can. Let's break the record for the distance between first and second so people can never deny what we did. And if I want Arteta to have to deal with us finishing third or fourth. And it kills me to say that. How has he put us in this position that that part of us is going, it might be better if we drop down a place or two? I mean, that is how dire things are. And he's sitting there in the press conferences. The press conference yesterday was an absolute joke, man. It was an absolute joke. And he opened by saying, first question, do you stand by this best team in the Champions League? And he goes, 100%. 10 minutes later, another guy questions on him and goes, you can't really think that sort. I'm paraphrasing. And he goes, if you want to take it literally, you just said 100% 10 minutes before on that point, which is the definition of literally. 100% is literally 100%. And he changes his mind 10 minutes later. So listen, Liverpool are going to be up for that game a lot more than they should be. The home crowd are going to be going nuts. And they'll probably have heard what he said. They definitely have. I've been getting it sent by Liverpool fans. What's this guy talking about? He's literally claiming 2 league titles that we didn't win. I mean, if I was Liverpool, I'd be roiled up for this. And I can see them absolutely spanking us. You know, and rightly so after what he said. He deserves it. We don't.
He does deserve it.
But he deserves it.
He does.
And unfortunately, we suffer.
Yeah. Mate, it does. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can you come out and say things like that? Like, I'm sorry. Like, do you know what it sort of sounds like? Did anyone have that kid at school who's like, mum and dad are quite wealthy and he's arrogant and he's, you know what I mean? Like, life's come so easy to him and he's not humble about it. He's just a bit of a dickhead about it. That's how Mikel Arteta comes across. He doesn't give credit where credit's due. Do you know what I mean? It's just all about him. White didn't, excuses here, excuses there. I'm sorry, man. Like, we don't deserve it. Us on the panel, every single one of you, 69 in the chat, you all don't deserve it. But Shane's right. He does deserve an absolute humbling tomorrow. What do you reckon on it, Ant-Man?
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the obviously we got Liverpool tomorrow, but coming off the back end of the PSG game, morale's going to be down. It's still going to be down because it's still going to affect the team. It's still affecting the fans. I mean, there's streams still doing it now, talking about the PSG game. and then obviously the Zubimendi, Mendy signing. But do you know what I mean? I've got no confidence going into this Liverpool game tomorrow. I've got no confidence in going into the next game, which is Newcastle, like what Shane said as well. I tell you what, last game of the season is Southampton, and I bet you, and I'll put dollars to donuts on it, we scrape a draw against Southampton like what we did in the last game, right? Yeah. So this is what it's going to be like this season. I'll tell you something now, Aaron. We're not finishing second. It's Man City. Yeah. If they win, they're on the same points as us. Yeah, but we're above them by goal difference, and then we got Newcastle next. Man City's got the easiest run going from now to the end of the season. They've got second place. I tell you what, we can finish as low as third, fourth. Oh, lads, we could even finish fifth, depending on how Chelsea gets on, because we got them breathing down our necks, Forest and Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? So, I can't see how this is progress. I mean, we were lied to back in the January transfer window. We said that we were going to have a good window. Oh, I know. I'll tell you what. Let's get Sterling in on loan. Well, what good's that? And what winds me up, Aaron, is Mikel Arteta actually, and this is true, lads, by the way, Mikel Arteta had 60 million to spend in that transfer window. He did not spend one penny of that. So that 60 million, he could have got a striker in, because we've been crying out for strikers the last, 3 seasons, maybe 4
minimum.
And
minimum.
And he hasn't done it. And what gets me, when he was actually a player for us, Mikel Arteta, was he or was he not an attacking midfielder? So if you're in an attacking role in a team that you manage and both used to play for, you know when you need a striker, and you know what striker you need to get. Why didn't you go out and get him? That's all I got to say. Because Osimhen, I'll tell you something now. We could have signed him, because he's apparently he's not happy at Napoli. He's not wanted there. You're telling me Napoli wouldn't have been happy with 60 million? I think they would have. I know Osimhen's they were talking about 80 mil, but just to get rid of him and get him off the books, I guarantee you now they most probably would have set at least 60 million for him, just to get him away.
We could have even got him on loan.
Yeah, he went on loan. We could have got him on loan. Kvaratskhelia went to PSG for 60 million. He went to PSG for 60 million.
Why not loan with an option?
I often say this, and is that we have to. When I tell it, sorry, I'll be really, really quick.
No, you good, bro. You good. You good, bro.
Yeah, when we're lining up strikers for Arteta now, just for Arteta, and saying, "Oh, we want him," I always say this: you can take about 80% of them out of that conversation, because they either have an attitude problem, they don't track back, they're not regimented, they'll answer him back. They're all gone. He won't even look twice at them. He wouldn't look at an Osimhen. Osimhen's got a big personality. He wouldn't look at Tony. Oh, he's got a bad personality. You know what I mean? Kvaratskhelia, 60 million, man. Surely we could have got him. He ripped us to shreds. But the thing with Arteta with the striker is he's planted his flag that I'm going to reinvent the wheel and win with no striker. I'm sorry, I've got a newsflash for you. Guardiola already did that, mate. You know what I mean? He already did it. He did that 2 or 3 seasons ago. He won it with no striker, all right? So it's being done. But it's the narcissism. He is so stubborn that he will just refuses to admit he's wrong. So he would just, even if, my thing is, even if Berta comes in now and says, okay, look, here's Gyökeres, he'll fall out with him. Arteta will fall out with him in a month or two, and he'd be dropping him, and he'd be putting him on the bench, and he'd be putting Havertz ahead of him, and he'd be doing all this just out of spite or out of arrogance, or because that's what he does. Otherwise, he would have signed a striker. And now you get these egals and all these lads saying he needs to be backed. He needs to be backed. Now it's suddenly he doesn't do the transfers anymore. It's the board need to buy him his striker. Right? Oh, he came out and said he needed a striker in January. He was just covering himself. They released that Zubimendi story in January. It was all done. It was on Sky Sports. Remember, it's all done. It's good in the summer. And then Arteta did his Jedi mind trick where he just tells the top gooners to forget about that. And then when they released the news again today, it's all fresh to them. How is it all fresh to them? I thought we had him in the summer. Why is it all, we're moving forward again? It's the same nonsense. Why are we looking at a holding midfielder when we have Partey? Well, I'd say Partey's had enough of Arteta. I'd say he's like, if Bert offers him a contract now, he goes, no, like he didn't want me. I'm not going to stay. He didn't want me. Why, I'm not staying now. You know what I mean? And rightly so. He's got a bit of pride and dignity. But the thing with the striker is Arteta doesn't want one. He doesn't want one because, number one, strikers are popular. They'd be more popular than him. Number two, he'd have to change his tactics and actually play good football. He doesn't want that. And number three, and Aaron says this, and I've said it before myself. Well, I phrased it a different way, but he said, name me like an attacking player or a 10 who the first thing you say is about their work rate. You know what I mean? That comes second. Yes, Rooney was annoying and had work rate, but that was secondary. He just had that as well as being a great forward player. But like it's like when Liverpool fans turn around and you go, "Oh, Darwin Núñez is awful," and they go, "Oh, but his work rate," and you go, "If you're having to say that, I mean, deep down that he's bad." So the thing is, you could get him any striker and it won't matter. And a lot of people in the chat, in my chat, have agreed with this, and it seems to be the running theme because we all know it. It doesn't matter what players he's given; he's going to ruin them anyway. I don't know where you stand on that, Aaron. Like, would you rather like not buy that many players until he's gone, or blow the whole war chest and hope that he gets it right? I mean, it's a catch-22, isn't it? It's a double-edged sword. What are we meant to do here?
I mean, like waiting. I'm going to go against the waiting thing because I've waited long enough. Exactly. I've waited long enough. You know, we all know Mikel Arteta is going to be here anyway. He's just sadly he is going to be here next season. I just hope with Bergkamp guidance that's going to be at least, you know, a good sign indication that the signings are going to be a little bit better. So obviously I was live when the news broke this morning about you know, here we go on Zubimendi, and everyone in the chat was saying exactly the same thing. World class chat. 89 in the building. Like and subscribe. I will pin the comments. Anthony, give us a little nod if you want me to post. I'm gonna pin the comments of Shane's channel. If you want me to do your Instagram, if you want me to,
yeah, that's fine, mate. Yeah.
I don't know, because it's a personal thing. I never know with Instagram. I'm never sure, but I'll get Anthony's Instagram pinned and Shane's pinned in 2 seconds. But yeah, all the world class chat that we've got here, they was all saying unanimously that with the Zubimendi thing, it's almost funny now that Bertus came in and we've just released the clause. We haven't messed about. We've seen Arsenal in time try and negotiate lower fees. We've done it with Thomas Partey. That was a late window, or maybe even final day signing. I can't quite remember. It was either the penultimate day of the transfer window or the last day. I think it was the final day of the transfer window, the Thomas Partey one, because we was trying to haggle a couple of £1 million. I'm sorry. Maybe this is what I'm thinking. Maybe we all known for a long time that you know, Zubimendi wants, like they're interested in. We've known that for a while, but now Bertus came in. It's done. 10th of it's technically not done, but you know where I'm going with it. So has Berta come in and gone, yeah, do you know what? I've been in La Liga for 12 years. I quite like him as well. Tick. Green tick. That's my signing. Yep, we both agree with that. Now, has Mikel Arteta and the board maybe gone, all right, cool. He's got a €60 million release clause. Okay, let's see if we can get him down to 50 or 55. And Berta's just come in and gone, no. What we'll do is we'll just suck up if we all want him that bad, what we'll do is we'll sign him in fucking May, sign him on the 10th of May, instead of waiting until August to save a couple of million pence. We say a couple of million loosely, but this is games involving billions upon billions. So it is change, a million or two. Yeah. It just is in this, whether we like it or not, it just is change. I'm just sort of sitting there and thinking, has he come in and gone, if you want him, get him. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll find out later in the window, Camavinga for Real Madrid gets an injury, he's out for 6 months, let's just say. And Tchouaméni is pulling up a little bit. Oh, wow, Real Madrid all of a sudden, they need a centre mid. Yeah, fuck it, we'll just release the clause and give him what he wants. Bye. And now all of a sudden, you've waited ages, someone's came in, paid the money, and guess what? It's so late in the window, all the other targets are gone. And copy and paste that with Victor Gyökeres. Copy and paste it. Do what needs to be done. Use this as a thing. And I think Bertus came in and done this. He said, right, yeah, we both agree. He's our man. Let's just get him in. Let's not piss about. Let's not waste our time. Boys, it took us 6 weeks to sign Mikel Merino, that shambolic player of a midfielder, Mikel Merino. He had 1 year left on his deal. At the start of the window, Real Sociedad didn't want him. He said he wanted to come to Arsenal. Arsenal wanted him. How on earth did it take 6 weeks to sign the geezer? And then guess what happened? It triggered on and triggered on and triggered on. We ended up paying more for him. Get the deal done. We're a big football club, Anthony. We're a big football club, bruv. World-class chat. But Anthony, I'll let you come in. We're a big football club. We need to start acting like it. And we keep saying now or never. Like this summer, surely, this summer has to be this transfer window of now or never. Because if we have another summer transfer window, Anthony, like we did last summer, we're going that way fast, bro. What's your thoughts on it, my geezer?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm glad that Bert has actually come in. Because someone like that from Atletico Madrid, getting in, he signed top quality players for them. So this is someone that we needed. Because with Edu, I obviously I wasn't great on Edu, but fair play. The only thing that I rate about Edu was bringing in Declan Rice. Out of all the signings that they've done, Declan Rice was the best signing for me. So I'm glad we got him. This Bert, the thing that I know about this Bert, Aaron, he doesn't stand any messing about. He doesn't stand. No messing. He's quite. He's focused and he's straight to the point, and he tells you how it is. There, this is what I like. So in all fairness, he's going to be in charge of obviously bringing the players in. I think he is going to. There is going to be some communication between him and Arteta. I think the Kroenkes is just going to take a step back. This is the reason why they wanted to bring him in the first place, was take a step back and just let him deal with it all. What we got to remember is these players that we want, hopefully we can get in. I mean, I know Nico Williams is another one that we've actually been addressed to. 3 strikers that we're interested in is Osherman, Rockeries, and also is Sesko. That plays in Germany. So is any one of those 3? Personally, I want Osherman. I prefer Osherman because that Rockeries, I'll be honest with you, he only had one good season over here, and that was in the Championship when he played for Coventry. He scored 25 league goals in his last season, and then that was when Sporting Lisbon signed him. So, I mean, the price of him maybe I think is a little bit too high because there's a different league over there in Portugal. You've got the 3 top teams there, but the rest of them aren't that great, in my opinion. So, obviously, hence, that's the reason why, obviously, he's getting goals. Don't get me wrong, if we do sign him, great. It could be, but it's definitely an improvement from bloody Jesus and Kai Havertz because they're a waste of space, them two. Let's be honest. Right? So, in all fairness, this is the season that we need to get these players in. If we don't get these players in, I'm sorry, but it's like what we said. This could be Mikel Arteta's last season at Arsenal. And to be honest with you, Aaron, you know my opinions on Arteta. I didn't want him in the first place. He's not the man for the job. Okay, I can see where he can't take us anymore. Cannot take us anymore. So in all fairness, it's like what we said, second, and wherever we're going to finish this season, possibly it could be second, it might not be. But in all fairness, it seems like we're accepting like a medium-sized level. We're not aiming for the heights. The way how we know, like you. Shane and me knows, the best thing what Arsenal was doing, we were winning trophies. We want those days back where we can win a trophy a season, whether it's the league, the FA Cup. Okay, you could throw the Champions League in there because we got to a semi-final. But this was another thing I was saying, Aaron. I said it on our show, on the Good, the Bad, the Ugly show.
Yeah. Don't
get me wrong, fans was all lights up over the 2 legs when we knocked Real Madrid out of the Champions League. And I said on my show, I said, look, if we do not go on to win the Champions League, all that would have been for nothing. Definitely for nothing. And it don't mean anything now. The game's been and gone. We've been knocked out the Champions League. That's it. So we've got to move on and wait till next season now. And let's see what next season brings us. If we got this problem again next season, Arteta, bye. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah. That's and it's absolute fact, man. There has to be a point where enough's enough. And look, I've listened to you talk for a long time now, and you spit nothing but facts. And there isn't anything I even slightly disagree on. I mean, it's absolutely right. It's frustrating. Before I do my thing, I just want to say to a couple of people in the chat, big up to you. We got a bit of Tony Tucker in the building. Big up. Rasmus Hoyland is there, obviously not the real one. Topside Highbury, big up to you, mate. Reese in the building. Luke Starkiller, big up. We got Joshua Buda, big up, man. Rick Hansen, big up. Andrew. We've got CJ's in the building. Big up to you, brother. FC always is absolutely everywhere. Yasser, big up to you, my brother. I hope you're well, mate. Rashid jumped in to say hello. Rich is in the building. KD. We got Views. Big up. Go and support Views as well. Like and subscribe to that geezer. What a lovely fella. We've got a big ex-gunner as well. And we got Sports Almanac. I hope I pronounced that right. I said that right. He makes a good point, and I'm going to come to Bottle Jobs' point straight after. Riku as well is in the building. Big up to you, brother. He's saying sports, yeah? He's got Arteta was ruthless enough to get rid of Ramsdale and Aubameyang, so now apply the same ruthlessness to stripping Odegaard of the captaincy. Thank you very much for great show. You know what? You make a fantastic point there as well. He does need 150% to apply the same logic. But the thing is with that is, whilst I 150% agree with you, he's got favourites. We've seen him apply the same things to other people. We've seen him, was it when Pepe got a ridiculous red card? He binned him off for about 3 or 4 weeks. Granit Xhaka gets a red card and does that to the fans. He's back in the team. He's let us down again, Granit Xhaka. But before he had that 1.5 seasons of being good. Where when we played Manchester City and he got sent off in the first leg, I think we lost the first thing. I think we lost 5 or 6-1 in that game.
There's the third. It was the third game of the season when it was the third loss in a row.
It was embarrassing, wasn't it? And he got sent off first half. Absolutely. Like, what does he do? He comes back, plays the same way. So you absolutely make a fantastic point there, and it's well worth bringing up. He's got favourites where rules apply for different people. Now I can actually appreciate that because Fergie done the same thing, but only for a positive effect and not a negative one. So he'd be stricter on different people and he'd let Eric Cantona run riot. Why? Because he knew Eric Cantona was special. Just like Aubameyang was to this football team. He might not be special in terms of previous Arsenal sides, like that guy. But in that particular team, Aubameyang was special. He was our match winner. He was scoring goals in the semi-final and the final that won him his FA Cup. He was instrumental. No Aubameyang, no trophy. I'm sorry, let's just get it right. We ain't having that. But Fergie done that, and he managed all of these big players. The Rooneys, the Tevezes were hot-headed. There's loads of them you run down the list. He was hot-headed a bit too much with Jaap Stam, and Fergie even comes out and admits that was his biggest regret as Manchester United manager, Jaap Stam. But he managed to get that the vast majority of time correctly. Mikel Arteta cannot man-manage people, and you quite rightly say the way he treated some of these players was just absolutely
Aaron,
no good.
I said this before. I said it before. He can't man-manage it. He can't man-manage a team. Do you know what? I reckon if any of our players have personal problems on and off the pitch, he's not approachable, that guy, because he wouldn't know ready out to say to him. And the other thing as well is when you've got top world-class quality players, they come with a bit of an attitude. You know, a bit big-headed and that sort of thing. It's life. It comes with it. But in all fairness, why can't he? If he's got a personal... he got personal grievances between what players it is. If they're on the pitch and they're putting 110% in on that pitch, put your personal feelings aside, but if that player is good at his job, you let him play. That's what the old managers was like from years ago. And it makes me think, if this manager is like this, A, why is he a manager? And B, why the bloody hell is he earning £15 million a year?
Yeah.
It's farcical. Do you know, Anthony, he's on the same amount of money as Inzaghi and Enrique combined.
Yeah.
Just letting you know that.
You could probably show Blick in there as well. He's on 3 times what Inzaghi is. 3 times what the man's on. And he's spent 3 times as much. Inzaghi in 4 years has spent 200 million. And he's built a winning team. He's won leagues and he could possibly win a Champions League. But Ant touched on a great point there, and I've said it before. All the bashing we do of Odegaard and stuff like that, as fans, that's what we have to do. When players aren't performing, we have to call them out. It frustrates us, right? But I did say, if I met him on the street, of course, I'd never be rude. I wouldn't go, "Oh, here, Martin, you're a joke," or whatever, or any of that stuff. But you've touched on a great point there. I genuinely think that Odegaard is struggling mentally. You can see it in him. You can see it in his face. He is struggling mentally as well as physically. He's lost weight. He's carrying an injury. Apparently, he's getting injections before every game. He needs an operation. But mentally, that guy is struggling. You can see that he's struggling. He doesn't want the ball. He looks terrified coming out onto the pitch. And like you said, I'd say if he went to Arteta and said that, he'd just go do your job. You know what I mean? Which is such old school thinking. You know what I mean? I'm an old school man, but I do take on board modern changes. Like, we got to look out for mental health and all that stuff. Of course we do. It's a killer, right? But you can see that Odegaard is struggling. It's so clear that man is struggling mentally. He needs to be told, go home to your wife, eat some good food, go to the gym, forget about the rest of the season. We'll say you're injured. We'll do whatever it takes for you to get better. But he keeps piling the pressure on him. He's having a nightmare every game. Leaves him on. The crowd are getting annoyed. And he just flogs him. He does it with injuries. And he definitely does it with mental health. He does not care. I've always said it. The second he leaves this club, the second the door closes behind him, every injury he's caused, every player he ignored will be gone out of his head like that. He will never think of them again. He will never think. Arsene Wenger still talks about his players like they're his kids, man. You know what I mean? Arsene Wenger was nearly close to tears saying that he regrets so much having played Fabregas and Wilshere so much when they're young, but he had no other option. And he knows he shortened their career. And he's nearly
still
crying
calls him
saying
boss, Shane. He still calls him
they all
boss.
call him boss. They all call him boss. Henri,
They call him
everybody calls him
Mikel.
boss. Everybody. Ian Wright calls him boss. He only played under him for 1 year. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. I'm glad you touched on that, because I've been saying it for a long time that he has no care. But he played Ben White for 3 months with a knee injury. He has killed that guy's career. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I always say it because I just want people to know that when it happens, we can see what's coming. Ben White will be another Jack Wilshere. He will be in and out of teams for the rest of his career injured. You cannot run on a knee injury. You cannot run on a knee injury. Of all the injuries, a knee injury. And he flogged them. And then he turned around 3 months later in a press conference and said, Ben White's been out all season. All season. He played 14 games, the first 14 games. But Arteta thinks if he says these things, that people just have to go, okay, he's telling the truth. Because he's like a cult leader. If I say something, but because when he goes out into the real world and not the bubble of the club, where these players are too terrified to stand up to him, so they just go, okay, Mikel, I know you'll drop me, I know you'll flog me, I know you'll do what you did to Tierney, Aubameyang, Guendouzi. And you touched on that point about the double standards, Aaron. Yeah. Guendouzi grabbed someone by the neck, I think it was Mopoy or someone against Brighton, right? Never played again, out, you're done. Xhaka did it about 2 weeks later, made him captain. You know what I mean? So he has double standards. He came into that club knowing who he was getting rid of. The big personalities, you're gone, you're out. You might question me. You might do this, you might do that. But you see him now when he gets pushed in press conferences, when an outside influence comes in and goes, like he did that post-match interview, which one I always forget her name. She works for CBS. She's called him out before, and he was doing the whole thing he's been doing.
No, it's not Abdul, is it?
No, she's kind of. But she said,
she's nice though, isn't she? I can't lie.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. I quite like mixed race looking ladies, man. She's attractive, man. She is hot. She's a bit of me, man. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But she hit him with he did the whole, their goalkeeper with the PSG goalkeeper was man of the match both games. You know what I mean? He's trying to make out that we trashed him. Their goalkeeper was man of the match both games. And she went, no, Hakimi got man of the match. And he looked like he wanted to hit her. He just went, you can see him. How dare you question me? But she just told him facts. And then he said the thing about, PSG, we for 160 minutes, we were better. He is essentially saying, they had a good 10 minutes in each game. You know what I mean? They steamrolled us in that. Maybe not on goal shots. Maybe not. They were never out of control of either leg. Never out of control for a second. Right? Villa gave them a scare. We didn't come close to doing what Villa did to them. PSG never got out of second gear. They didn't have to. They didn't break a sweat. No. They didn't break a sweat. Right. It was too easy for them. And he goes and says we're the best team in Europe and all this sort of get out of here. Like it's just desperation at this stage from him. Yeah. Desperation.
Because if you notice in that last game, we dominate the first 10 minutes, right?
That's all they had. That's all they had in them.
And then if you notice, it was the last 5 minutes of the game, we started coming alive. Going back to what we did in the first 10 minutes. So that basically, that 75 minutes through the game, there was nothing. There was nothing in defence. There was nothing in midfield. The final third of the pitch, absolutely diddly squat. There was nothing. And so, fair play for Saka, obviously scoring the goal. We all touched on this, Aaron, when Saka had his injury, right? And we said, do not bring Saka back early. Let him have the rest of the season off. Yeah. And what happened? He as soon as he come back, he was only 80% fit, and Mikel Arteta started playing him. Yeah. And the other thing I want to touch on as well, and Shane brought up a good point as well, was with Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard has been absolutely rubbish this season. He's been poor, in my opinion. Okay, fine. Which Shane said he's supposed to probably carry an injury or what. What's wrong with Nwaneri? Why can't he pick Nwaneri to replace Odegaard? Tell you what, that guy, Nwaneri, he's a brilliant player. Now, that's going to be another one to around and say, well, Mikel Arteta only used me for a few games. He don't bother playing me now. I just might as well turn around and say, I want to leave next season. So if a club comes in, says, all right, we'll bid 20 million for him, right? We're selling for 20 million because he come up for the ranks. That's 20 million pound profit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You'd have to sell him as a championship player because he hasn't really done anything. When I say he hasn't done anything for Arsenal, is because he hasn't given the opportunity of doing anything to Arsenal. Okay, he's played a few games here and there, fine. But it feels like to me he's dropped in completely. and he just wants to use him as a sub coming on like in the last 5 minutes of the game. What's the point in that?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's pointless. It's just that's why I call him career ender. He is. He's career ender. He's no good for young players' careers because every single time, and this isn't just even the youngsters, although specifically I'm talking about the youngsters, he stumbles into everything. He stumbled into Ben White as right back. He stumbled into even Nwaneri playing. The only reason why is because he had to wait until Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard was injured before giving him a game. Same with Miles Lewis-Skelly. The geezer's bouncing around like that, like a Spanish Danny Dyer. He does the old Irish accent. All right, mate. All right, mate.
Yeah, girls.
Yeah, girls.
Want a couple of tequilas?
All right, girls. Want a couple of tequilas? Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what. After one training session, son, he was a left back. Oh, yeah, so like what Shane says, completely disregard the whole entire coaches and the youth setup that actually have helped him all the way through. But you noticed it in one training session. He says that. That's ridiculous. He stumbled into Saka. He stumbled into ESR. He's stumbling into all of these things. He doesn't do it because he's a tactical genius, because he sees things that we'll never see, Liam Gallagher. It's because he has to. He's handcuffed. He's backed into a corner. That's why. The managers are an absolute fraud. Fucking fraud, mate. One sec, before you go, Joseph Connor Golden, OG in the chat. Big up. He's put in a super chat. Mikel and Martin, mate. Mikel and Martin, you know it. And guess what? The super chat goes in the squeaky chair fund. It goes in the squeaky chair fund. We've got the bar stool from the kitchen island, and it's a fucking rectum wrecker, mate. I'm telling you, it's horrendous to sit on for a period. Pause. Yeah, it's horrible. So we're gonna get a new chair, Joseph Golden. That goes to the rectum wrecking chair fund. Big up to you.
I thought that was towards your paint, Aaron, for the ceiling.
There you go. That should be first before the chair, man. You get a bit of WD-40 for the chair, but that paint's starting to get on my nerves now.
Exactly. He knows.
Fuck off. Right. Anyway, so we're going to continue this show as a solo now anyway, boys. So, thank you very much for Anthony and Shane for coming on. No, big up, man. Yeah, no, big up. Yeah, big up, you bastards. We've also got a legend in the chat. Big up, Southern Gooner, Matty, man. Big up for giving me your time yesterday as well, man. I know your time's precious. Not only, ladies and gentlemen, is Matty a world-class YouTuber, he's an absolutely funny fucker, and he's probably got the best accent you'll ever hear in your entire lives. Yaster! Not only has he got the best accent you'll ever see in your lives, what a world-class photographer, man. I went and... unbelievable. The geezer's a joke, and if you don't know the terminology, when we say from London, the geezer's a joke, we mean that as an extremely high-level compliment. Yeah. He's so good as a fucking joke. Big up to Matty, and don't forget to go over there and subscribe to our Southern brother, which is the Southern Shyster, the Southern Gooner. He's a wicked geezer, man. I love him to bits, man. He's another one of them. When he comes on, he just makes you go up a level, doesn't he?
I like Matty, I've been on a few shows with Matty. Yeah, he's a good guy. I like how he sees it as well. In all fairness, Matty's spot on in what he's saying. You know, so you know he does know his stuff, Matty, and big up to yourself, Matty, for that.
Matty knows his stuff, and then what I always do, and I top it off. Then he's an absolute gentleman as well. You know what I mean? He's such a nice guy, But Aaron, just before we go, I did want to touch on something you said about Arteta stumbling into the four young players, ESR, Saka, Skelly, and Nwaneri. Yeah, he stumbled into them, but the four of them, right? Maybe not so much Emile Smith-Rowe, but he did have a massive ceiling, and he still could. But the other three are destined for greatness regardless, right? Because they just have that world-class talent or potential world-class talent. But those four players, as much as he stumbled into them, he hasn't gotten near enough out of them that another manager would have. I always say it about Saka. Imagine he had come through when Wenger was in charge. Wenger, who knows how to build a team around attacking players, or Nwaneri or Skelly. Skelly would be in that midfield under Wenger. He'd be bossing that midfield. He'd be in the 10. So these four players that have come through that are great, and you go, oh yeah, look, I discovered these. Oh, you didn't. They came through the youth system, did all the work there, mate. Not you. Yeah. If anything, they were on this massive meteoric rise, and as soon as you got holding them, it started to stagnate and slow down. Saka's numbers should be much higher than they are, because he should be getting rested and not being made to track back. Nwaneri should be starting so many games against smaller teams in the league at home, playing mid-10. Skelly should be in the midfield. So these players that have come through that, yes, oh yeah, look, I brought these players into the team. Well, you haven't done enough with them, not even near enough with them. They should be so much further in their career than they are now. And made a point about Nwaneri wanting to leave. I would not get mad at him if he wanted to leave. He should go to Dortmund, someone like that, where they'll build a team around him like they did with Bellingham, like they do with Sancho and all that. He should go there and go permanent as well. Don't go on a loan. Don't go. I don't want to go on a loan unless he gets something in his ear saying, "Listen, Arteta's days are numbered. Mate, go out on loan. By the time you get back, he'll be gone." You know what I mean? That would be the only way that I'd do it. Yeah. But he needs to go somewhere and play football because he is a pure footballer, man. He is someone that you track him back. Okay, it's a chore to him, right? But rightly so, because he isn't raised that way. He was raised he plays like a kid in the schoolyard, and you need a player like that in your team. Every great team has had a player like that. Cantona at United, Bergkamp with us. Bergkamp, of course, was serious, but he played football like it was nothing, like the goals he's just shown. Maradona played like an old schoolyard player. Ronaldinho, all those players. Johan Cruyff. You can keep going. All these legends played like they were playing in a schoolyard. They wanted to try new things. George Best, all these lads. So when he puts these, he lowers the ceiling on all these players. On all these players, he has ruined every single player he's managed. He has ruined them in some shape or form. He's either stalled their career, stalled their progress, or basically just kicked them out. So if I was these young players, and if they have a good family around them, like they say, Saka and stuff, I'd be saying, listen, you need to play football now, not money. Get out from underneath him because he will destroy your career. Like you said, career destroyer. Whether it be through injury or just ruining them, he'll ruin them one way or the other.
Yeah, he's a career ender, mate. The geezer's a fraud. As Matty would say, I'll honour him if he's still listening. The gig is up. I love it when he says that. He says it better than I do, of course. The gig's up. The gig's up. He's been found out. Why has he been found out? 5 years ain't won anything. Like, come on, man. Like, what do we do? But, oh, yeah, we're the likes of a gal and all of them boys on that side of the fence. Like, oh, yeah, but next season. Next season, come on, man. Like Ronan Keating, man. Next season never comes. It just never does it? It never happens, man. What are we doing here? It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
You can tell he's a Ronan Keating fan, can't you?
Listen,
are you, a Boyzone fan?
Listen,
you're a Boyzone fan.
Just to save face, I take down all my Boyzone posters. I've got a life-size Ronan Keating one over there hanging up.
Yeah,
I just look like I'll take the Bergkamp one.
Here, Shane, guess what? Above his screen, guess what? He's got the words on his labelled on his wall. North London forever. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah. Whatever the weather, mate. Isn't it? Whatever the weather. Yeah. Well, listen, Anthony. Though, all jokes aside, man. I stand out like a sore thumb, so where I sit in the North Bank, like everyone's like that, the streets are own, and I'm just like that.
I did it when I'm over as well. I won't sing that song, man. Won't sing that song.
No. I sing quite a lot of them. There's a couple I refuse to sing. I have never and will never sing. No, what's it? We've got Super Mick Arteta. I won't sing it. I won't sing it. What a redundant song in the first place. Anyway, it starts off absolutely horrendously.
They sing it in work. Some of them sing it in my workplace. Well, like being in the building trade. Yeah, honestly, I've got a couple of Arsenal fans. They're like, late 20s, and they're constantly singing it. And I said, like, fuck it, I'll not pick you up for work tomorrow.
You got to loosen the scaffolding there, man. You got to loosen the scaffolding there and send them up to get something, man. Let's do that.
yeah. Oh yeah, put it on a little pivot and just fucking stand on it.
You just go up there. I think I left my tool belt up there, mate. But you can go grab.
Just fucking.
Let's see if you sing it on the way back.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look. See how the likes are liking. How many likes we got in the building? We got 100 people in the building. 62 likes. Come on, man. We can get to 80. We've also had a raid from Jester that I've only just seen as well. Big up to Jester, man. We love a bit of Jester. Absolutely fantastic content. The geezer is a whiz on that Gran Turismo game, He's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And guess what? Yeah, we need to go up. Links for these boys are pinned in the chat, yeah? So go give Anthony a follow on Instagram and go give my full Irish brother, Shane, a like. He's just got over 500 subs. Anthony, we're not wrapping up, don't worry. Anthony needs a channel of his own. I know we've spoken about it off cam plenty of times.
Yeah,
he needs a channel. I know it's difficult. You know what I mean?
Everybody says to me, "Ant, you need to get a channel, get your own show, do this, do that." And I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. I know you've got family life and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you know,
Take
I
over,
mean,
Robbie, back to you,
I'm the sort of guy I can plan time. You know, I can plan time. I can put time into that, time into my family, time into work. I'm quite good at splitting things up. So you know, that's not a problem. But do you know what? I thought about it and I said, yeah, I might do, but I never ever got round to doing a channel. Because in all fairness,
Yeah.
Shane, I've been jumping on now on YouTube on different shows now. I've been doing it for like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've been on Jez's channel, I've been on Matty's channel, Aaron, I've been on shows with him. This is the first time I've been on Aaron's show, by the way. And I thought to myself, yeah, tight get. He never invites me on the show until now. So big up to Aaron. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and a few others. You know, we got our show on Wednesday night, called it's on Hammers Football TV.
Yeah.
He's a West Ham fan, but you
Yeah,
know, we do the good, the bad, the ugly. So you've got him being West Ham. We got a guy called Fuzzy who's Man United, and obviously I'm
Okay.
Arsenal. And with them two, how shit their two teams are doing, they make my job that much easier on the show. To be honest with
Well,
you,
not if United win the Europa League, though, mate. Then they've outdone us.
Yes,
And Maddie
'cause
made a
this
great
is-
point about if they win it. And sorry, that he made the point that that they go suddenly from looking at Rory Delap to looking at Gyökeres. You know what I mean? If they win that, they have Champions League, and is Gyökeres going to go work under a manager who got the best out of him? I think he might.
And European trophy as well. That's what I said. And people don't understand that. Even I said it. If Man United go on, win the Europa League, they got the Champions League. I said they've had a better season than us. I said, and then we've qualified, let's say roughly for the Champions League, which we would. But whether we finish third, fourth, whatever, you've got to say they've won a European trophy. That's a much better season than what we've had.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
and the regression is kind of equal as well, because you know, last season, they finished, what was it, 8th or 9th, wherever they finished. It wasn't great. Or was it even that low? So they've dropped, say, eight places. Yeah, we won't drop that much. But the points difference between what we were doing last season, challenging and stuff like that, like we've fallen apart beyond what people can recognise just because of the silly, we're going to finish second in semi-final. Aaron does all the legwork with these stats and stuff like that. And you try to lay it out to these people and you say, you know, and you name every player that's going to leave and how small the squad is already. And you get down to about 16 players and you go, so now we have to sign 10 to 14 players. Forest nearly went down when they got up and did that. They were close to going down the first season. Remember, because they had all these new players and they're trying to fit them in. You need cohesion, and that's why if you're going to do that and bring in a load of new players, you may as well bring in a new manager for it.
Yeah.
Hey,
who's that?
That's the Oasis tickets, is it?
It's not coming up. Yeah. I was trying to show it on there, but for some reason, it ain't coming up. I was just trying to show there's a couple of people. I said Oasis, Liam Gallagher. There's a few people in there. I've got premium standing tickets live for Wembley next.
That's when they got back together. That's my phone was blowing up. A lot of people would explain me to someone. Oh, do you know Shane? And they go, no, the Oasis fan. You know what I mean? That's the way they go with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know how I got them? Yeah, it was the Brighton game, the 1-1 home game. Yeah. And I was up early doors, and I put my, you got sent the link, and you had to try and get it, and you had to wait. Anyways, I was stood there at the Brighton game, and I was still like 60, 50, 40, whatever thousand it was, ridiculously high numbers. In there, and I was looking at it, but I kept it up. People saying, "Why have you even still kept the web page up?" I was like, "I don't know, but what's the point in cancelling it? Because then you definitely won't get lucky." So anyway, did you? Oh, you're so mate, honestly. Right, I promise you. So it must have been the early kickoff with that Brighton, because I got them tickets sent to me about 3:00. So it had to have been a 12:30 kickoff, yeah. So, anyways, obviously the 1-1 game's gone up, whatever, rah. I'm walking back to my car, and I've got a little message come through on my phone, yeah. So I'm having a little look, and it comes up with on the C tickets or whatever it was, ticket whatever. And I've looked up it, and I was like, "You're in." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "What?" Anyway, so I've selected tickets. And they do like this little fluctuation thing where, like, if loads of people are getting it, they up the price. Disgusting, by the way. Mm-hmm. So the standard tickets, I think, was something like 120 quid or something like that. But because it was in demand, you had to pay 350 quid for it. But because I stupidly give away my Oasis tickets, I think it was in 2002 or something like that. Kasabian, by the way, was behind headline. I've got a devastating choice. I just thought, fuck it, I'll pay the 700 quid, whatever. I get to the final. I'm with HSBC, yeah? And you have to do, I don't know if anyone's with HSBC or whether their bank's the same. So you have to do this little app confirm thing. So I've got through to the tickets. I'm like buzzing, man. Sweet, 700 quid. My app thing froze on the HSBC thing. I was like, you fucking bastard. I was like, how dare you do this to me now? Anyways, like it got to the point where I had to refresh the web page, yeah? So I refreshed the web page. I was like, oh man, I know it's just going to boot me out, and that's that done. I refreshed it and it said premium seats available, 150 quid. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then it worked. So actually in that, I managed to get 2 premium seats for 300 quid or whatever it was, instead of paying 700 quid for 2 standard ones. So I was buzzing, man. So yeah, I managed to get them. Playing as my man Lewis here, live forever, mate. I was driving home like, maybe I don't really want to meow. Loving it, mate. Gnarling growls. Yeah, wicked, man. Yeah, no, buzzing. Well, yeah, no, I just couldn't help myself. I had to say it, man. But yeah, man, it's buzzing. I was doubly happy. I mean, it made up for a little bit of the poor performance, at least, that we had against Brighton that day. And that's one of the reasons why we ain't won the league. And one of the reasons as well why we're giving Liverpool a guard of honour tomorrow. And 2, we could be 18 points behind, boys. 18 points behind, chat. Did you think that season was going to go this way? I certainly didn't think we were going to be this bad. But I'll tell you what. I didn't think
so, but I'm not shocked.
There's a statistic that I always like to bring up, and we're going to bring it back up again for the guys and girls that haven't seen it already. And you know it's Regression FC. This is why. This is why, boys and girls. This is not good. This is nowhere near good enough. I'll come back to that 7-inch. Big up as well, 7-inch. Big up to everyone in the chat still. Look at the state of this. Look at the state of this, Anthony. I know Shane's quite well versed in my Regression FC. Yeah. But Anthony, mate, like this 15-point gap could be 18 points. We're going nowhere and nowhere fast. There's regression here in every single metric, bruv. Every single metric, there's some form of regression here.
Yeah, you look at it. I think, you look at the 22-23 season, we finished second. Yeah, we bottled that one. That one. 23-24 last season. Yeah, I'll tell you the truth now. Mikel Arteta, he ballsed up because he changed that fucking team around against Aston Villa.
Havertz midfield.
Yeah, so that was a balls up there. If we hadn't have done that, we would have won the league, right? And then obviously this season, what can you do with this season? We've had crappy windows. We bought Calafiori. Some Arsenal fans are saying that was a player that we didn't really need. Because I'll be honest with you, I've never known a player to be made of glass. He's in one knock and he's out all the time. Seriously. So that was pointless in getting him. The money that we spent on him, we were better off putting that towards a bloody striker.
Facts, mate. What fact?
You know?
How can you argue that, Ant? It's just fact. I mean, you look at the summer transfer window. Like, I've had a gal and a couple of people saying to me, there was no money to spend on a striker. Okay, why'd you spend Victor Gyökeres's release clause then on Calafiori and Mikel Merino?
There we go.
Like, how can you argue these things? Do you know what I mean? Like, the thing is we come at facts, and this is why you may or may not have heard me say this, but it's becoming my little phrase now. People listen with their eyes now, Anthony, which is why I always do this. Because it's all right me saying, yeah, you know, the wins are down, the goal difference is down, the goal difference is down, the points are behind. But when people can sit there, whether they listen to me or not, and then they look at this and they look on the screen, and if they want to like let it digest into their brains, they see that how bad this has become. Because that's not like these stats. This is from PremierLeague.com. It can't get any more official than this. It doesn't get any more official than this. It's from the Premier League website. So I've had people come at me and they're like, yeah, you're so negative for doing this. I'm like, well, so by that logic and definition, your club's negative because this is their official stats.
No, it's true. It's true. And it makes you think as well, lads. I mean, for what we've done this season, obviously it's been rubbish. It has been poor. There's no question about it. It makes you think, are we going to be on another rebuild? I think we've got to be on another rebuild. We got to look at every single player in their position and see, well, look, I'm not being funny. You're no good. We need to get rid of some of them. I mean, Lokonga, he's out on loan. He's still on the Arsenal books.
Yeah.
You know? Reece Nelson at Fulham. Now, do you know our mistake? Do you know Reece Nelson? We rejected at the beginning part of the season. Yeah, we rejected West Ham's bid for 30 million for him. I mean, he's a player that come up from the ranks. Okay, don't get me wrong, he's a reasonable player, but he's not. He's not at the standard of where we want, other players to be. So he would never get there. So getting 30 million for Reece Nelson, why did we turn that down? To me, it did not make sense at all.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fact. Just quickly before I bring Shane in, yeah, listen, I've been to Glastonbury 5 times. I've been to Reading Festival 10 times. I've been Isle of Wight. I've been all of this. You boys are all saying, I see the Verve. I've seen the Killers at numerous places. Man, yeah, you're talking my language, man. When I'm seeing people putting this kind of music in, yeah. We're on the right back. So big up to everyone who listens to that music. I just had to come in and say to my sweetheart here from NYC, the number one chica in New York City. Madupe, how you doing, my sweetheart? Hopefully you're all good. I'm so terrible with the times and things like that in America, so hopefully this isn't too early or too late for you. But hopefully you're well, my dear. Hopefully you're enjoying your Saturday, first and foremost. Hopefully you enjoy your weekend going forward. And I'm going to read out your comment, my girl. Sadly, there's no guarantee next season won't be another regression. See, this is the good thing, guys and girls, yeah? This is the good thing about our sweetie, NYC Madupe, yeah? She talks facts. That's why it really hurts. And this is why she's a real fan, because it hurts. It hurts. These top gooners, my girl, Anthony, Shane, they don't care. They don't care. They wake up in the morning, they couldn't give a toss. Us three on this panel, Madupe, world-class panel, that world-class chat that we've got here, we all care. And she goes on the rest to say, you can't even be optimistic for next season. Blind faith in this manager. Man, do you know what? I know it was obviously difficult and it's easier to post. If you ever want to jump on at any stage or anything like that, I know I'm just giving you the offer for whenever you want. You don't have to do that. Not now. I'm just saying it down the line. I'd love to have, especially an Arsenal fan, Chica, that talks absolutely absolute fact. So if you ever did, you don't have to. There's no pressure whatsoever, my girl. No pressure. You are more than welcome to jump on this channel and have a say, whether it be for 1 minute, whether it be for an hour, whatever, man. I love listening to fans like you have your say. And big up NYC. Verb. Yeah, no, pick up, man. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut. I just see the girl I see my girl in the chat. Well, I mean, we've got to say hello, man. We've got to say hello to the world-class chat every now and then. We got one more before we come here. Big up the legends, Kyle Walsh, man. Hopefully you're well. I had a little chat with him, a mini little chat with him earlier. Oh man, what a geezer! That's the privilege of this thing, isn't it, boys? That we meet absolute fridge freezers, absolute geezers, legends like yourselves, and legends like Kyle Walsh, man. Do you know what I will say about Arsenal though? Yeah, this is the frustrating bit, right? We've got a captain called Martin Odegaard. Will we ever get better? Someone mentioned it earlier. I can't think which one of you two it was, but we was mentioning Martin Odegaard. This is what we're having to deal with, this man, yeah? And do you reckon he's going to be anonymous again against Liverpool? Yes, of course he will. Of course he will. This is what we have in the first leg of the Champions League, yeah? The first leg. Oh, no, whoa. Actually, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Let me get that back up, because that was Martinelli Rodrigo thing. Let's rewind that, and let's get that back in. I'll restart that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, and I'm late again. Right, let's go again. This is what we've got. Take 2. This is what we got in the first leg, yeah? Champions League.
It's unbelievable.
Sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards. The red are completed passes. Only one of them into the box. Oh, and he tried 3 that nearly went in the box, and only one of them was successful, by the way.
So 2 into the box. He played one into our box as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a more direct pass as well. That's the best pass he played, man. Look at that. Splitting the defence in half.
This is defence splitting Martin Odegaard.
Yeah.
You're El Capitan. Who cannot play forward passes for love nor money. He
played 4 in that match, man. 4.
He's the Nielsen. He's like, you can't see me. He's like John Cena settings, just, you know what I mean? Like going left and right. This is second leg, Martin Odegaard. Wow. the same output as our goalkeeper. What a ridiculous stat.
We're the best team in the
he
competition,
had
guys.
that shot, though. Don't forget he had that
Oh,
shot.
yeah, I forgot about that. His first shot in the last 2 or 3 months, I think he's taken.
He had that shot, didn't he? Do you remember that shot that he had? That shot.
Oh, a shot. He had a shot. I can't believe it. No, we need to lay off him. He had a shot.
Yeah,
we need to lay off him now. You know what I mean?
That shot. We'll be talking about that for years. That'll be the second thing. When we talk about the quarterfinal trophy against Real Madrid, we'll follow that was, we went out against PSG, but do you remember that Odegaard shot that one?
Yes. We won the 1 shot and 2 leg trophy. Unbelievable, man.
One shot. Isn't it?
This is what we're dealing with. Our creative force, the Arsenal who have had Bergkamps in the team, the Arsenal that have had Canus and fucking Charlie Nicholas and Charlie George. Yay, we got 1 shot and 2 legs. What a player. What a player, man.
He may have had 1 shot, but how many air flicks did he do in the game?
He did a lot of hair flicks. He did a lot of hair flicks.
Yeah.
He needs to put on some weight, man. He needs to put on some weight. Look at his face. You could carve a roast off his face, man. He needs to put on some weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's happened to him?
He does. Well, he looks like he's been in the crack den for too long, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like fucking Pete Doherty settings, man. Like, what are we doing here? Madupe, I will say, just remember, I don't know what a hype man is. I'm sorry. I'll have to Google it.
Hype man is the guy that would sort of come on with rappers and stuff like that, and the wrestling sometimes have a hype man. If a guy's not good on the mic, they have a guy that shouts behind him and bigs him up and all that sort of stuff. I think Mike Tyson had them.
I kind of do. Yeah. Well, listen, Madupe, with all the greatest respects, my girl, I'm not going to stop bigging up my listeners. So you just might have to deal with that, my girl. You know what I mean? This is how we do it. Well, no, big up to you. We always appreciate it. Listen, this is a funny one from Linda as well. I wouldn't take your manager at Portsmouth.
There you go. And she's speaking truth there as well. And she means that. She don't mean sarcastically.
Yeah. We've got Alan Garivum as well. How you doing, Alan Garivum? Yeah, Arsenal fans should remember, without losers, where would the winners be?
Yeah, I'm glad we could be there for the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, that's it. We're just propping you up, man. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
That's how drastic it's gotten, man.
Yeah, that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's what we are, isn't it? We're the ugly chick of the group, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? Just to make the other ones look better. That's what we are. Guns Rovers Aerosmith, man. No, I don't want to miss it. Oh yeah, man. I'm going to belt into that. He's got a wicked voice. Listen, before we do sort of wrap up, I want to get some predictions, some match predictions. So we'll go for another 5-10 minutes. I want to get some match predictions, and chat. Use this as your opportunity, because I want to get and read out all of your match predictions. I want to see where we're at. What do we reckon, chat? First off, and then we'll come to Anthony, and then we'll come to Shane. Chat, what's the score going to be? And first off, Shane. Anthony, what's the score going to be, my brother? What do you reckon?
2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool. I've gone for.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking the same, man. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we haven't won there since 2012. I'm sure it was Cazorla and Podolski. And in that nice kit. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I quite like that. There was
we had drawn the first 2 games 0-0 that season.
Blue. Yeah. That was a good kit, man. That was a good kit. I like that. But yeah, man. So yeah, Anthony, no confidence for you, bruv.
No, there's no. I think the morale's going to be down coming back from this PSG game, and then it'll be down to we're not going to win against Newcastle, and it's like what I said. Southampton. I just feel like he's going to be. We'll scrape a draw at Newcastle. At Southampton. That's what happened. So we'll get 1 point from now to the end of the season. We'll only get that one.
Yeah. That's man, that's madness, man. If we do that, slipping down all the way to 4th. You said it. You opened it with it, didn't you? And to be fair,
yeah,
you said, you know what I mean. That's disappointing. What about you, Shane, bruv?
I have it in my Super 6, a 3-1 Liverpool. Before he poked the bear by claiming that we did better in the last 2 seasons than they've done this season. Again, he didn't say it in those words, but he hinted at it. I just think they're going to come out and give us a pasting. And I think as well, I'm with Anthony that we'll lose to. So I have 3-1, and I do agree that we'll lose to Newcastle. But I do have a sneaky feeling I will go against a draw with Southampton, and only because Arteta is that cat with 9 lives that he just right at the end. I can just for the top gooners, I can see us going there, right, spanking them, and Havertz comes off the bench and scores an injury time or something, and then suddenly everything's okay for the summer. You know what I mean? Oh, look what we did to Southampton. But that's just going by how lucky Arteta is. I do agree that we probably will draw or lose to Southampton, but I can just see something like that happening because Arteta is just so lucky when it comes to stuff like that. And then it'll be, oh, look, next season we got our players back and we can win 5-0. But I think Liverpool are going to bash us now because I'd say they are angry. They have to be angry. And our players are just devastated. You know what I mean? I think a lot of them have turned on the manager in private. You can see it in them. They interviews, they're all robotic, depressed, you know, and I'd say there's a lot of transfer requests gone in already. I'm pretty sure Saliba is looking to go. I don't even think you could convince him to do another season. So when all that adds up, you just have Liverpool. Yes, they've already won the league, but it's not like they have a final or anything come up. They should be going out to try and get as many points as possible. And I don't know if it would be a bad thing if they roll over us. I really don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have 3-1. 3-1 Liverpool, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna side with Ant here. I'm gonna go 2-1. Yeah, I can see them just doing the business, you know, and there's no pressure on them, there's no pressure on us, but I just still don't think in the no pressure competition we're still not good enough. I can see them rolling it over. You know, it's just as simple as that. We're going to be deflated, and we've seen Arteta come in and go, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to use this pain to charge on. We're going to use this pain. Yeah, we've had pain in the squad for the last 5 years, and you still don't get anything. So you can't just come out and go, oh yeah, we're going to use the pain to do that. Just while other people get their predictions in the chat in there, I just thought I'd ask you very, very, very briefly, the pair of you, because I like these old players, and especially like Champagne Charlie. What did you think of Champagne Charwan?
Yeah, good player. Yeah, I liked him. Liked him a lot. Very good. I mean, we've had quality players in the past, haven't we? You know, and then just of late, I tell you what, if it's like I know everybody rates Odegaard, but let's be honest. If Odegaard was the player of what everybody was saying, A, would Real Madrid sold him, and B, would he have cost 35 million?
Exactly.
He wouldn't on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great, really good point. What do you reckon on that, Shane? What do you reckon on
Yeah, no, listen, again, basically before my time, but again, I know a lot about my Arsenal history. I was reading up, and I know that he didn't kick on the way he was expected, but he got those 2 goals in the final that just won everybody over, you know what I mean? And yeah, look, an absolute, again, a Maverick of a player that just wouldn't have gotten an Arteta. Arteta would have got rid of him the second he comes in. He would have got rid of him the second he came in. Same with Liam Brady, same with any of those players from back then.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have got a game under this guy. They would not have got a game under him. Paul Merson would have been out the door. You know what I mean? Ian Wright would have been out the door. Tony Adams would have been out the door. He's not having a captain like that. There's no way he's having a captain like that will take charge on the pitch and go against his tactics. So all these legends that we mentioned, the sad fact is that none of them would get in an Arteta team. Not one of them would get in an Arteta team because they have too much personality. You know what I mean? But with Champagne Charlie, listen, like players like that don't exist anymore. You know, I'm not talking about going out on the lash and all after all that. That was the time. I'm just talking about players on the pitch that try new things and take the game by the scruff of the neck. Yamal's got a bit of it, man. Yamal's got that where he'll just try new things and he'll do it, but he's got a manager that lets him do it. But I am quite nostalgic for older football. Even as a kid, I was, you know, like my favorite jersey was the Holland one. I have the Holland jersey, you know, from '88. Like that, I was only sort of 7 at the time.
That's a sick T-shirt. And do you know what? You've got one as well. You've got, is it the Columbia one or something like that? You said you got the charity shop for a $5. That's sick, bro.
I have a few coming in the post now. I have the Ireland '88 when we did you a lot in the Euros when Ray Houghton scored the header early on. The Argentina '86, which I've always wanted coming, and I have the another one I can't remember what I ordered, but yeah, listen, I would be more nostalgic for older football. Like I said, even as a kid, it was just VHS tapes of old World Cups, of old Arsenal videos, of books and stuff like that. You know, I mean, it just there's something was more romantic about it, I suppose, and maybe I'm just showing my age, but yeah, players like Champagne Charlie wouldn't have had a look in with Arteta, and that's a sad reflection on our club, man. Our club is built on Mavericks. It's built on Mavericks, and we don't have any. We don't have any.
He'd have ousted him straight away, wouldn't he? Because he can't handle him.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's what
Exactly.
it's madness,
No.
isn't it, man? When you actually sort of deep that, some of the world class players and some of the best players that we've had, it'd have actually fobbed them off before they even hit their potential.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? Like that's madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can't
I mean,
manage a player.
you look at that, Aaron. Do you remember R9 Ronaldo when he played for
course.
Barcelona? Sir Bobby Robson signed him for 25
Yep.
million, right? He never once, even though what an amazing manager Sir Bobby was, and he won trophies after
Brilliant
trophies after trophies, right? Ronaldo never once listened to him because Ronaldo said, "Look, you select me in the team, you play me, but I play my own game."
Yep.
And then he's shouting instructions to Ronaldo, like, you know, fucking pass the ball, do this, do that. In one ear, out the other. What happens? Solo run, bang, goal. And Sir Bobby turned around and said he was a quality player, but with that comes arrogance. He don't listen to me. Okay, fine. But if he's out there and he's producing the goods out there on the pitch, which his main aim is scoring goals, I'm all for that. You know?
Yeah.
See, these are what the old managers are like now. You can't beat these. This is why they're not managers now. This is why they're not called managers. They're called head coach. Yeah? Because they're not in charge of bringing the players in now, which I find is wrong, because I find with the owner side, I think let the owners, let them deal with the business kind of side things of football. But when it's spotting the talent and wanting to bring the players in, it should be down to the manager. The manager should have to say. Honestly.
So that's it, you know, because I just want to jump on that because it's a great point about the youth players and stuff like that. When you were saying about like the best players have a bit of arrogance in them, but that's why they're the best. You know what I mean? But Liam Brady says in his book that when he got the job of being the head of youth development, that he came along right when Wenger came in, and it was all we said about the perfect marriage. And he'd been there at the start of the Riyadh thing, and Riyadh wanted to stick his nose in and say, you know, this, and then Wenger came and said, "That's your thing. You look after them." But Wenger wanted his sort of beliefs and his, you know, the way football should be played instilled in the youth team. He wanted like characters, and he wanted them to be strong-minded, and he wanted them to get an education and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's so strong a body, strong a mind, all that sort of stuff. And Liam Brady said, this man's talking my language, you know what I mean? But he brought him through. But he said that sometimes, like, because he brought through Ashley Cole, he brought through Jack Wilshere, all those lads, right? And he said that sometimes he said that Wenger was very strict on, you know, they have to eat the right things, and if they step out of line, they're gone. You know, if they have a bad attitude, as in, you know, doing nasty things, you know, they're gone, they're out. You know, there'd be no Joey Barton coming through that youth system. You know what I mean? But Brady also said that Wenger was also lenient as well. That he'd go to him and he'd say, "Oh, look, such and such is coming through. The only thing is, he's a bit of a troublemaker." And apparently Wenger said, but all the best players have a little bit of trouble in them. You know what I mean? So, like you said, the managers have to let, and Aaron touched on it with Cantona at United. I heard a story about him that Lee Sharp and Giggs and all went. There was some charity event, and they all had suit and tie. And I think Giggs wasn't wearing a tie, and Ferguson made him go home and get a tie. He said, "You're representing Man United." And then Cantona rocks up with like a collar down to here, and he didn't say anything to him because he's a different beast. You let him do what he does, you know, and he does it on the pitch. If you have any, but Cantona again was like Bergkamp, first into training, last to leave. So let him have that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let him have that little thing. And Arteta has none of that in him. None of that in him. And you cannot be a top side with that. You can't be. Someone put it in the chat earlier, and I'll finish on this because I know I'm waffling on. Someone put it in the chat earlier, and I've said it before, and I fully agree. If Nwaneri was at Barcelona, he'd be playing most games. He'd be playing most games for them in the 10, and he'd be absolutely balling out. They'd build the team around him and Yamal, and he'd be in with Pedri, and they just go right out there, do what you do best, and bring it home, like you said about Ronaldo. If he's doing that on the pitch, if he's that good, how can you tell Ronaldo, one of the greatest forwards ever, how to make a run? How can you tell him how to make a run? He should be telling you how a run is made. You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. No, in fact, just want to big up as well. Dazza Smoked You. Dazza Smoked You has became a YouTube member of the channel. And guess where that goes? To the Squeaky Chair Fund. That's going into the Squeaky Chair.
I can't hear it. Get that pink sorted.
Yeah. It's gone into the Dulux and Squeaky Chair Fund.
If you have a bar stool there, surely you'd be able to stand on that and paint the bloody ceiling, man. Come on.
He is on the bar stool. It's amazing how short he is. His dad isn't slick.
I knew you was going to jump on that. I fucking knew it. Like I know you've got that quick enough wit. The second you said about that, and that's all. I knew what this fucker was going to say right here. Yeah. Yeah.
You're just had a
Listen.
normal sized desk there, eh? With a bar stool. Is that it?
I'm like, you know, the little. Do you remember the Little Britain thing where what was it? The little sketch where he comes out and he's a little geezer, and then what's
I
it?
don't know what I never watched.
Oh mate, no, it's like I can't think what the sketch was, but it's like he comes in, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, and he's just a tiny little geezer. And what they do is like the person sat there behind the desk offering them the job, and he's like obviously big, and the geezer sat there, and then it pans to him on the camera, and he's just this tiny little man, and like the hands. Either way, I'm not. If you don't know the analogy, you'll have to see it. But it's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, Shane, he's that small. He needs a step ladder to change a light bulb. That's what. That's what.
What makes me laugh here is I'm 5'10", you know what I mean? 5'6", 5'10", sorry, 5'11" when I'm wearing TNs, you know what I mean? I'm 5'11", I'm that little bit. 5'11" when I'm wearing TNs, you know what I mean? My dad, he gives it the Barry, yeah? And he's like, oh, he's at midget son. He's only about that much taller than me. And I know every inch counts, you know what I mean? When you're a geezer, I totally get that. But I mean, he acts like he's a fucking giant, mate. Honestly, do you know what I mean? Like he's towering above me. He does. He gives it the absolute big one. But honestly, yeah, Terence Knowles, my dear father, if you're in the chat, come on, man. He acts like he's a jolly green fucking giant. Do you know what I mean? But no, big up as well. Big up as well, Dazza. And yeah, I'm going to run through some of the scores, what people's got now, because we've had enough sort of time. So we've got not good enough has gone to 3-1 to Liverpool, which means, just like his name says, that's not good enough. Mad Max, big up to you, brother. 3-1 Liverpool. Yeah, same with Shane. Yeah. Shane's got a little 2-0 there. 3-0 Liverpool we've got. And Lewis, don't even think we're going to score. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't even... I just said 2-1 because I wanted to be close. But actually, when I think about it, I'm like, we probably won't even score. The manager is a scrub. Let's be honest, lads. Listen, you're on the right channel. I'm not going to argue with you. Vigilante, big up to you, bruv. He's gone 2-3 to Liverpool. Expect them to destroy Arsenal after Arteta's smart-ass confidence. Press conference, sorry, comments. Dismissing them after the winning league. Yeah, it's a fantastic point. Arnie will want to lose, will not want to lose 2 in a row. Yeah, exactly right. So you're saying a Liverpool win there as well. Big up to Hendo, my geezer. 3-0 to Liverpool. Yeah. Linda, big up, girl. 3-1 to Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking great in prediction-wise, is it? Pretty sure Liverpool, Joseph's obviously, Liverpool fan, we'll play our first team tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't. There's nothing left to play for now. Of course you would. You're going to put on a show, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? You just will. Mr. Waffle, big up, brother. It's okay, lads. We won't get battered by big teams anymore.
That might not be a bad thing to get the top winners off that top 6 nonsense, man, as well. If we lose to them, they can lose that trophy. Joshua,
he's saying Liverpool 3-0. Salah to equal Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry's assist record. Yeah, that's interesting. You'll get 20 assists. That's a smoke shit. Big up Aaron, Shane, Anthony. Your work rate through the roof, he's saying, is putting that fake captain to shame. Exactly right. Miss NYC, Madupe is saying 1-1, I think.
The first one where we don't lose.
Yeah. I mean, I hope she's right. I'm not going to lie. I do. Yeah, then we'll blame the ref. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that Bible will be out. I don't know what one are we going to use today. Do you know what I mean? We know it all out. Yeah, big up everyone in the chat. Yeah, the chat's been fantastic. That's it. He's going 3-1 Arsenal. 3-1 Arsenal. I mean, yeah.
Fair play. Fair play to
him. I think he's just saying that just because it's what we do, when it means nothing, that will show up. I know what it means.
I hope you're right, man. I really do. Oh man, Joseph's putting the Joseph's. Yeah, he's 4-1 Liverpool, man. Yeah. That's yeah. I mean, I hope not, mate. I really, really, really do, brother. But just before we wrap up, I want to ask you a quick question. We'll just make this one really, really, really quick. Linda's putting a question, and I do want to answer it. Who's your best player of all time, Arsenal? Anthony.
Oh, Dennis Bergkamp. If you're talking the striker, Dennis Bergkamp. Defender, Tony Adams.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think many people are going to argue that. Shane, same question.
I think best player is Henry, but I think most important and my favourite would be Bergkamp. They're very close. They change it. That could change. You could ask me tomorrow, and I'll say Bergkamp's the best. You know what I mean? It does. It changes. It just like the weather. But those two up there, Liam Brady as well has to get a shout.
Yeah. No,
he does. Yeah.
Aces 5-0 Liverpool. Yeah.
I do think Liam Brady's the most naturally talented player we've ever had. Most naturally.
Yeah. Obviously, what Aces, but yeah. He was a bad boy. You like no bias there, no?
For me.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. Look, you ask Jezza the same question, man. Ask Jezza the same question.
Yeah. No.
Ask Kenny Ken. Ask Kenny Ken. They'll agree. They'll agree.
No.
You know what? That's one guy I got to beat on a quiz is Kenny Ken. Because every time I've jumped on Jez's show and we've had a quiz, Kenny Ken's always beat me by one question.
Wait, we was on it over Christmas, weren't we? And he was
good, and it was one question I got wrong and he got right, and the question that he got right was the answer I thought of. So I had like two answers to it, and I thought, oh, is it that one or is it this one? Oh, I'll go with that one. And I'm thinking, did I do right? And no, it was bloody
always
wrong.
Go with your first instinct. The first one that comes into your head, always go with it. Always.
Yeah. He's got the crown now. Kyle Walsh beat him once.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Kyle Walsh beat Kenny Ken once. Yeah.
Runnison, mate. You know what I mean? Runnison will give David Seaman a Runnison for his money. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Do you know what I mean? Like what we're doing here. I'll round off by Santa Lindo to answer the question. Who's my favourite player?
I know you like Glenn Elder, don't you, from 95? Yeah.
Elder, obviously. Come on, man.
Glenn Elder. Ian Selly. It's got to be Ian Selly.
You know what I mean? Come on, Glenn Elder. But let that man right there. Birthday boy, by the way. Listen, thank you very much. The guys' links are pinned. If you want to follow our main man, Anthony, on Instagram, his link is pinned in the chat. So please go over there and show him some love. And likewise with Shane, over 500 now. But that's not the end goal. We need to get him to 1,000. And his link is pinned as well in that chat. Show everyone some love. Thank you very much. Congrats to the 1K. We're going to be out of here. Big up to everyone. Fingers crossed a Liverpool tomorrow. Not that it really matters. Other than that, Arteta out. Everyone out. Berta in. Arteta out. Take the dog with you. See you later, everyone.